Margavan and Melanine, and well met indeed. I'm Arca Galadirthin, the head of Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as Enedwaith. Now, of course, it has been months since I last played this. Last save date was the 14th of March, so I can't remember at all what I was doing, other than I think I was going for the elves, so I'm going to crack on with that. However, in the meantime, as I move some people around before we end turn,
Your orders, my lord.
I wanted to just explain a few things. Something that people may not have fully understood from the I'm Back video, or maybe they just didn't watch it. It was, yes, the Moria campaign will be fixed by version 1, we hope. Calatharok, who has joined the modding team and has made great steps in fixing the few little bugs that plagued the system. And from his feedback, it seems that he's got the bulk of it up to where it should be, and so we should be able to get some testing done of it before it is released to you all with version 1. So that is very good news. Secondly, I just wanted to address the Dunland Enedwaith train each other's units feature, which was added in to version 1, which you'll all get in version 1. And that is that once you've united the clans, be you Enedwaith or Dunland, you'll then get a spattering of the other major factions' troops. So, as you saw from Dunlarak, I'm able to train some Eisenmack Raiders, Eisenmack Axemen, and then a few others as well, actually, dotted here and there, that come through for each faction. So I can train a few of Dunland's units. Now, the aim of that was mostly just to show that Dunland aren't dead and you share a common lineage. So it is likely that the Dunlending forces would then fight with you, because it'd only be a matter of time before you were fighting for the same thing, and the animosity of being conquered by Enedwaith would pass. And also it just helped to relieve, or not relieve, but it helped to cover a few gaps in Enedwaith's roster and cover a few gaps in Dunland's roster. Now, I know I've always said that adding units to a faction just because they fill a gap that that faction doesn't have is never a good enough reason to add a unit, and that is still the ethos of DAC. We don't just add units just because, say, for example, the biggest claim, one of the biggest ones we always get is, can Rohan please get better infantry? And the answer is always no, because the point of Rohan is that you've got to use your cavalry. Or, no, actually, I tell you what, the biggest question we always get is, can we please give cavalry to the Dwarves? And no, we can't. The point of the Dwarves is that whilst they are arguably incredibly overpowered, and if anyone can totally abuse the heavy infantry nature, but to counter that, they have no cavalry. You can't chase down the enemy armies very easily, and chasing enemies becomes quite a bore in a Dwarven campaign. And that's just the opposite of the infantry. So the Enedwaith being able to train Dunland units and Dunland being able to train Enedwaith units, it doesn't fill the gaps completely, because you have to bear in mind that you've got to unite the clans before you can even train these opposing units. You can't just get them as soon as you take Dunlarak or Byrig or Dunyard. You have to actually complete the entire united script before the Dunlending units are available. And as you can see, I'm 122 turns into this one. I would say I'm an average speed. There will be those that are faster than me, there will be those that are far slower than me. So it does heavily depend on your playstyle whether or not you'll even get those units to bridge those gaps. And also bear in mind that the main the main hole in Enedwaith's roster is, of course, cavalry. And with the Dunland units, you get the Eisenmack Raiders, which are a very, very good cavalry unit in comparison to wild men overall. And so you'd think that it covers the gap, but the Eisenmack Raiders, the best unit you get in this palm, this handover, are only available in Dunlarak and Dunyard, and possibly Byrig as well, but maximum those three regions. So it's not like you're going to be training these Uber cavalry out here on the borders, where you may have noticed that some of Dunland's units do just become part of your training roster. So it doesn't completely fill the gaps in your recruitment, so it doesn't make it overpowered. And also, if you're at the point where you've united the clans and you've defeated Dunland, which is kind of the exact situation I'm in now, sans, of course, Moria and Isengard, but otherwise this is pretty much everything you need to own to unite the clans. As you can see, we have essentially won. No one's going to beat me now. I'm 22 regions away from actually achieving my victory conditions. So it's at a point where you're looking for something different in your armies anyway. You're no longer at that point where you're just slogging to achieve victories. You are now, you firmly won, and it's now just a case of I enjoy playing as Enedwaith, so I'm going to see it out till the end. Whereas, were I not doing this as a YouTube campaign, I'd probably stop at this point, because I know that I've won, there's nothing really more to be done. But I am looking forward to fighting against the elves, so we will see how that goes. But the point I'm making is, once you get those units, it doesn't matter that they are particularly, that they fill this gap in your roster, because by this time you've pretty much won the game anyway. So there, it does have an argument, does have a reasoning, and the units that you get with Dunland aren't actually, they don't fill really any gaps. They're not particularly overpowered. The units that you get when you play as Dunland are merely just a nod to the fact that you now own Enedwaith. So it's nothing groundbreaking, or indeed game-breaking. But, as I have literally just said, we have pretty much won this now. We've not really got any enemies who are strong enough to worry about. We've allied with Gondor. We've allied with Rohan. Quite firmly allied with both of those. Oh, I forgot to press play again on the stopwatch. That time it was only a couple of minutes, I'm sure of it. So we don't have any enemies in the south or the east. I've taken Moria just for the, well, for the money now, really, let's be honest. It earns 8,000. And someone did say about sailing down to Umbar, I think, to save Gondor, or sailing out that way. But we will continue just moving our army across to... Yes, yeah, why am I sending them there, actually? Let's fully move. Get everyone into the Dolvorn region.
We can go no further, my lord.
Your orders, my lord.
With honor.
And then it's just a lot of end turns, unfortunately. We're now going to make so much money that it's just not going to matter. Nothing is going to matter. So train more of our best. See, so you do get that one unit, the mounted warband, but they're very basic cavalry. They're not... your cavalry roster is still pretty poor, pretty low on the ground. Right, we want to take out of here, leave those two behind, and a unit of archers. And then you're also going to go that way. Ah, but you need to join someone or you might rebel against me.
By your command.
Your orders, my lord.
Whether or not enemies, your armies abandon you depends on the authority of your general. And unfortunately, it's a hard-coded feature that we cannot remove, because I find it incredibly frustrating. Because obviously in the Lord of the Rings setting, armies would not abandon you. Like, you're fighting for your very lives. There is nowhere to run. If Sauron achieves victory, he will kill all humans or enslave all humans, whether or not they fought with him or against him. His overall goal is to dominate the whole world. So like the Dunlendings fighting with Isengard, when Sauron sweeps through here, he would likely enslave the Dunlendings. He wouldn't let them carry on just because they fought against the rest of the free peoples. So armies like the men of Bree and Northern Dunedain and whatnot, they're literally fighting for their survival. They're fighting for their way of life. So they're not just going to abandon you just because your king is a bit soppy.
Yes,
but we can't get rid of it, unfortunately.
Yes,
you can move quite far. Come over here and get this army.
With honor.
What am I taking out of here? We'll leave behind. They're 14. They're 14. No, they're much better. You're behind two of them.
As you wish.
Most of you come out to there. Oh, should have just gone the other way. But they need a general. What did my phone vibrate for? An email. Oh, sorry, I've made that clicking noise. We will quickly run our money down with the way we're going, but it is not a concern, really. We're making 10,000. Moria is, of course, one of two wealthiest regions in the game, and I have told you the other one about 1,000,000 times, but I will tell you again, because people seem to always forget. Even so, I was watching Snowhood.
This tower will keep
it is Snowhood, isn't? Is it Snowhood? Yeah, Snowhood. I was watching his canned video and noticed that he didn't think taking this region in the very, very bottom was worth his time. I've only watched 2 episodes so far. I'm catching up. Obviously, I've been away the whole time he was putting them up. And
yes, my lord.
I just wanted to shout into the screen. I was like, Anne-Caragmere is the wealthiest region in the game. There is no exception. Anne-Caragmere and Moria are the 2 wealthiest regions in the game. And if you can get one of them, you should try and get it. Always. I mean, like, look at this. Londair is a pretty big city. It's a minor city. It's almost as high as it can go. We obviously can't make it any higher, and it only earns 1,797, in comparison with Moria, which earns 8,000. 8,000. It's just incredible. So if you can get Moria, it's worth it, which is part of the reason why many of you will probably be disappointed to learn this. I've not spoken fully with Calatharok about what his plans are, but I would argue for this situation, and that is that we will likely keep Moria as a passive faction. So if you don't play as Khazad-dûm, Khazad-dûm will do nothing. They will take Moria on whatever turn it's going to be with this new fixed version of the script, and then they will remain in Moria. That is what I would argue that we will do. That's how they currently are. That's set. That is their behaviour is set in a different file from where the script is governed from. So it shouldn't be edited. There shouldn't really be any need for a change. But unfortunately, Khazad-dûm is... Oh, well, to give you a bit more of a backstory before I explain the problem with Khazad-dûm, while we are just moving troops to the west, unfortunately there's not going to be a battle in this one. I can pretty much guarantee that.
Yes, my lord.
So I do apologise.
Yes.
Your orders.
But I'll fill that with some modding information for you.
Assembling a
Divide and
mighty
Conquer, of
host.
course, adds a lot of new factions.
Yes, my
That's
lord.
kind of our thing. Not many scripts,
Honor.
lots of factions. We've
Your
almost
orders,
maxed
my
out the
lord.
unit limit.
Yes.
That's the big draw of Divide and Conquer. But the downside of adding a lot of factions, and it's a downside that everyone has to be aware of when they download DAC. This mod isn't for everyone, I'm well aware of that. There are a few things that some people find annoying. And one of those things is that the increased number of factions means that often the balance in certain areas can be very, very strange, very, very off. It takes a great deal of time to really balance out the factions. Oh, bugger, the dwarves are coming for us. And one of the areas where the balance is the most tentative, it's the most on a knife edge, is the central arena, or central theatre we call it. And this is the Misty Mountains,
We must make a
Angmar,
stand. We are besieged.
Thranduil's Realm, Dol Guldur, Lorien, the Vale of Anduin, now Khazad-dûm as well. And this area is all set up so that the Vale of Anduin can hold long enough that Angmar get dealt with by the Blue Mountains far to the west, Dol Guldur get tied up fighting Lorien and Thranduil's Realm and sometimes Dale, and the Misty Mountains get tied up with the Dwarves coming in from the northeast. Oh, Council Master of Bree is dead. Angmar wanes, very cheeky. So the Misty Mountains deal with the Dwarves, and the Vale of Anduin hold on long enough to keep the Misty, Dol Guldur and Angmar stragglers, those who aren't fighting the Elves, the Dwarves and Ered Luin. The Vale of Anduin keep them in check. Now the problem is if you add Khazad-dûm into the mix, they absolutely eradicate the Misty Mountains and they ruin all balance in the centre there. But of course balance isn't necessarily just
With
does
honor.
everyone survive. It's more about making sure that it's a challenge for each faction and that there's a different outcome each time. That's when something is unbalanced, when the same thing happens every time. And what we attempt to achieve...
Your will, my lord.
oh, hold on, let's just work out first what we're going to take out of here. Leave behind the 2 Dunland Spearmen again.
By your command.
What we try to achieve is that the Misty Mountains don't die every single time.
Your will.
So sometimes the Misty Mountains will succeed and the Vale of Anduin will get crushed, or...
Yes.
let's get rid of them.
My lord.
Let's get rid of them. They can take 3 more units. 1, 2, 3.
Order. Yes.
So we're trying to get a different outcome each time. And at the minute the balance is so that you do get a different outcome each time. Sometimes the Misty Mountains do incredibly well. Sometimes they get defeated. Other times they just stalemate with the people around them. But adding Khazad-dûm into the mix meant that Misty Mountains always lost. In every situation
Yes,
they were
my lord.
defeated. And
Glory. Honor.
we had to try
Victory.
and deal with
My lord.
Moria in a way that meant that that didn't happen each time, and unfortunately the only fix we could find was to make Khazad-dûm passive, so they just sat in Moria. However, with the fact that Moria is one of the 2 wealthiest regions in the game, there are few other regions as wealthy as Moria. And Carragmere, of course, as I've said. Erebor is quite wealthy. I believe Thorin's Halls is quite wealthy. But other than Dwarven settlements, Carragmere and Moria are really up there. And the reason that the Khazad-dûm being passive isn't actually that bad is because Moria is such an amazing target. It is such a sweet prize if you can get it. I mean, 8,000 a turn pretty much the turn after I've taken it. I haven't even improved the infrastructure. It's ready to go almost off the bat, and normally it's not captured by anyone for quite a while because Khazad-dûm, of course, defend Moria. And that's really their job role now. Once version 1 comes out, there'll be a very interesting script to play, and then by extension an interesting faction to play, especially now they've got their own units and their own roster. But from the other side, when you're playing as anyone but them, they've just become incredibly powerful guardians of Khazad-dûm, and they make it very difficult for anyone to get into that region.
Yes.
If we lose Khazad-dûm, by the way, I'm just going to abandon it. It was just to get money. There's not really much other chances for expansion up that way, so I'd rather take down the elves. And also, as I've said in all of my videos, we have never ever come close to fighting the elves of Linden, and I would quite like to see how that will shape up. If we'll get our absolute arse handed to us, or if it will be alright.
I'll rip off your head and spit down your neck.
They look different, but the rest of them don't. Oh, they must have been done before I left. That's similar to how they look in version 1. But as I say, in version 1, this is currently Khazad-dûm's roster. This unit is now a unique Khazad-dûm one. So is this. So is this. So is this. So is this. So are the Vault Pikemen. Basically, they have their own complete standalone roster now. We found the space for the units for Khazad-dûm because we always had about 20 or so unit spaces available in the files because they were reserved for the Reunited Kingdom mod or Reunited Kingdom script. And as time has gone on, of course, we've only just got Calatharok as a scripter, and the Reunited script is a huge endeavour and undertaking, and even now, of course, we don't want to pile too much on Calatharok's shoulders. And also, modders always come and go. I mean, Calatharok may prove me wrong, and he may turn out to be one of the most dedicated modders that I've seen. So far, the only truly dedicated modders I know are Araval, who governs Frome. I've known him since I've been on Total War Center, and he has always been in that role. And Googie is one of the longest-standing members I'm aware of, the Lore Master, of course. If you play the PCP mod, Already Dead, the creator of that mod is always around, and he is possibly the longest-standing member I know. But the point of it is that modders always come and go, and so we don't want to deal with the Reunited Kingdom mod until we know 100% that we would get it done. So the space that was set aside for those units has now been taken up by Khazad-dûm. Right, well, I lied. You are going to get a battle. One in which I'm very uncertain if I'm going to win. They've got Sons of the Fallen, but then so have we. Khazad-dûm Deeping Wards are quite good. Reclaimers are very good. They're elite. Guards are elite. We've got a few miners, though, dotted around, and miners aren't very good. Of course, our army is not particularly good. But we have got 2 units of Guardians, so
Muster your courage, men.
with any luck.
We march into battle.
As I say, because Khazad-dûm are passive, the only time they'll actually do anything is when their Horde feature overrides their passive feature. So, obviously, Khazad-dûm are one of the only Horde factions in the game, and that just means that they can't be killed by taking their last town. You have to kill off all of their members, all of their family members, and their armies.
Units, await my orders.
And I have completely forgotten why I was saying that. This is so frustrating. Oh, yes, no, sorry. So, if they lose Moria, they will then kick up again. They'll actually do something to try and take it back. But then they will go back to being passive again. So, once they've gotten Moria back, they will just then sit in Moria. And if, for whatever reason, they take a different city other than Moria, they'll just sit in that one once they take it. So, there's our new banner that you'll all get in version 1. Clans of Enedwaith. Who's our general? General's bodyguard. Here we go. The fun can begin. The never-ending battle. Now, one would assume that they might go all out to cross the bridge, rather than go around, because then you've got to go up. Oh, well, we'll find it again. There she is. You've got to go up, you've got to go through that one, then you've got to come through the side, and you come to the square from that way. So I think what we'll do is we'll block that path off with a single unit, and that will give us time to shift troops around if they do decide that they're going to come from this way. Because we've got a lot of javelin men, and we should be able to use them quite nicely if we position them by the chasm. So, not a very good... Can you actually cross that bridge? I don't think you can. Now I'm wondering if actually the only way is to go around the side, and if it may have bugged and that bridge might not be possible. Oh, that's such a gamble. That's why you need to know things. Knowledge is power. Sadly, we don't have the requisite knowledge. Oh, and this camera is so frustrating. Do what I tell you to do, damn it. Alright, let's get them all that way. Go and stand up there and stop bothering people. And you as well. Cities. Cities, man. Up you go. There we are. Okay. What I would like to do is place Angren Raiders along here. Please go here. Please go here. Yes! Yes! I don't mind if you all stand on top of each other for now. I'm going to move you in a minute. Right, you guys go there. Get a unit of pikemen to come down here and stand... Well, there, actually. Just in case they can come that way. And we'll group you lot up. Okay. I'm pretty sure you can cross that bridge, but I just can't remember. We'd be able to shift troops. We'll be able to hold in the square if the worst comes to the worst. So, do we have any other archers? 2 units of these guys. No, I have the general's bodyguard at the top, idiot. Foolish! No, they don't want to play ball. Not at all. Go on, you know you want to. You know you love it. Yes, there we are. Foresters of Haleth. Elder Guardsmen. Oh, I'll be... Ah, you won't get the animated bow fixes. I suppose I could merge those actually, because they're just mesh files. They'll work. They'll work. No dramas. Javelins, 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 javelins. Make sure no one's running away. They're all grouped up. Okay. Now the rest of you, I would quite like you all to come and stand in the centre up there, or out to the right. Yeah, that's fine. And then, if they do come from the right, we can move. Because we'll find out if we can cross that bridge straight away. So let's dive in and do this. I chose the right side, didn't I? Yes. Of course, there's only one way in, isn't there? Okay. Now, you gentlemen, please. If I could ask you to walk to there, will you cross the bridge? Yes, you will. And stop. Oh well, this is a really dodgy area, isn't it? Look at this setup. Can barely even touch the floor. That'll have to do. They won't follow these. Absolutely no way. This game has a mind of its own. I haven't really been following the Warhammer Total War game at all. Obviously, I've been away. But the people seem to be rather annoyed that it looks as though there's only a single settlement layout for battles, certainly for the Dwarven castle. Karak, I believe it's called. Karak is a castle in the Holy Land, or Karak, I suppose it was called. And it also means Dwarven Castle in the Warhammer universe, apparently. So there you go. You learn something new every day. Right, the rest of you, let's figure out how we're going to defend up here. Rivermen, move down there a bit. It'll take the enemy ages to batter down the gate and then walk through it.
Down the gates.
So we've got plenty of time. You guys come behind because you're very, very good. If I could get you to come over here somewhere, maybe. Yes. Line yourselves up there. Angrin, you do a similar thing. And then what have we got? Oh, you also... Oh, I'll tell you what. I don't want to move everyone's. Oh, they did do what I asked them to. Ah, marvellous. Oh, look, the pikemen have sort of tried to work out. Let's get those pikemen there. Let's move those archers. No. Oh, play attention. There we are. No. No. Come on. Do as I tell you.
The enemy's ram has breached the gates.
Nothing really. I'd rather you were standing there on top of them than on top of the others. Right, and then we'll bring the moot wardens down. I'm standing amongst the pillars. You gentlemen come with us as well. You are the ones over there. You guys head up and help over there. Sons of the Fallen, stand by. You're going to be moved to wherever is weakest.
The walls are no longer ours. The enemy have taken them.
Yes. Right, you guys are going to be absolutely wasted there, actually. That's a real waste of troops, isn't it? Form a secondary line with them. There we are. If you can run, I would ask it. Where did I put you in the end? Oh, I wasted you. Foresters of Haleth. Can I get you to go there? Yes, I can. Off you go, get a jog on. Whoops. Speed it up a bit. Zoom in. Welcome to Moria. With the introduction of Leo's Civil.uefs's mod, which everybody knows by now, which adds all the custom settlements, Moria is now quite a plain and boring settlement. When you consider the likes of Erebors, what that's like now. There you are, don't move any further. Yes! Perfect spear block, or pike block. Of course, if they don't turn right and go up the hill, which it looks like they're not doing. Oh, and the guards. Good. Oh, please tell me the guards are coming this way. No! Sorry. It looks like most of their forces are going to be going over the other side. Oh, but they're already throwing, apparently. Are they actually throwing their missiles through the ground? No. They're just doing the animation. Okay. We fight the dwarves on the very bridge of Khazad-dûm. Who have we got? Khazad-dûm Reclaimers and Dwarven Axemen. Let's hope it goes well for us. They're setting up on the other side. Those pikemen are a threat. Hummingbird is looking to slightly nerf pikemen. As I'm sure you are all aware, pikemen are heavily overpowered. Or not heavily overpowered, there's always a way around them. If you flank them, they're quite weak. And they can be brought down. But pikemen in Medieval 2, due to their animation, are virtually godlike. And so efforts may be taken to decrease their power. So stay tuned for that in version 1 as well. I should also say that the bow animation, so all of the humans having an actual arrow in their bow, which they don't currently have because this isn't version 1, that is not available for a select number of unit types. And unfortunately, that is every horse archer. So no horse archers will have the proper arrow animation. They will not knock their arrow and fire from the string, I'm afraid. Limitation with the... Oh, I've got moot keepers I didn't do anything with. It's a limitation of the way the skeletons have to be set up. So horse archers never will, and also any dwarven archers will never have the proper skeleton either, due to the way they work. Can I run you out? So none of the dwarven archers will. Neither will any of the hobbit archers, for the same reason. It's because of their small size, it affects the model in a way that I don't understand, because I'm afraid I don't know anything about modelling. And so the dwarven archers never will, neither will the hobbit archers, and neither will the horse archers. So you have to bear that in mind. But do also bear in mind that, of course, the base game, and I mean the base game, not Third Age, the base game, didn't have animated bowstrings. Even Creative Assembly didn't give the archers animated bowstrings. So you're pretty spoilt with the number of units that can now actually use them. So we're happy with that. The River Elders are about to test their mettle against the Guards of Khazad-dûm. Hopefully the fact that they're fighting down here will give an advantage. And the Spearmen are helping a little by peppering the enemy. I recently turned the video quality on my recording up ever so slightly as well. So hopefully that change is coming across to you all in the video. Oh no, the Sons of the Fallen are pushing through. Oh, they're really pushing through. Oh, the archers are being engaged. No. Right, let's think about this. Moot keepers there. Stand some more behind you. You guys pull back to there. Archers. Sons of the Fallen. Oh, come on. Yes. That'll do, that'll do. Go into defense. If again you could run, I would quite appreciate that. Those two make it out. No! Running away the wrong one. Oh, I'm all over the place. Oh, they're engaging the enemy immediately. Well, if the dwarves are just going to push through like that, they'll probably die. It's a... Yeah, we've killed 40%. This is an incredible victory for the Clans of Enedwaith. This victory will be remembered. And only the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm have come that way. So you might as well go down and help. And I'll bring you two back as well. Should they be needed at the front, which I don't think they will be. Might as well get them back. Don't be messing me around now. I know that I can set things up here. Oh, that'll have to do. There, look at the dwarves ready at the last. Horde of moot keepers milling about with Sons of the Fallen. The Sons of the Fallen are really, really powerful. They're such a strong unit. Did all of the moot wardens down here. Oh no, look, they just got split. Oh wow, they must have gone shield wall and just bashed their way through. Splendid, splendid to see. Oh dear, can't set the camera up at all in this place. If you're wondering how the Moria script's actually going to work, the little bit of information that I have so far is that it will remain essentially the same. So you have to choose Mirkwood or you have to choose Anduin, and each has pros and cons. And then you'll spend time walking toward Moria, with Barlin obviously at your head. And then, due to a problem with the Balrog, and the fact that Moria was the reclamation succeeded for 5 years before the Balrog returned to slay the dwarves. And so that is going to be replicated, ideally, in the fact that when you initially take Moria, you won't fight the Balrog. I think that was where we were. It's still subject to a lot of change, but it was either you don't fight the Balrog straight away, and he returns after you do a certain number of things, or you do certain tasks, you build certain buildings, and then the Balrog will come back and finally try to put a stop to you. So the initial taking of Moria will be slightly easier because there'll be no Balrog. This was also influenced by the fact that through rigorous testing of the fighting around Moria, it was shown that the Balrog would often crash the game if he was inside Moria. Whereas if you're defending out on the plains, or the Balrog's attacking you rather than defending, then it rarely crashed the game. So to have that in mind, and the fact that, as we say, the Balrog doesn't attack them for quite some time after they come back to Moria, you won't have to fight the Balrog straight away. And then, sorry, I've clicked my teeth again. And then you will also do the same mission to go and tell everyone that you've reclaimed Moria to try and get some more people. And then you can send an emissary to Eredluin, the Iron Hills, and Erebor, and from those locations,
they have lost half their men.
Troops and citizens will then come to live in Khazad-dûm, and then it just plays out as a normal campaign, which gives you kind of two options, really. I might do an overview video again once Khazad-dûm is completely set up and certain and definitely going to be working and in the mod. And of course they've got a new roster now anyway, so that kind of suggests they could have an overview video, but I have to look up on their stats and stuff. But fighting once you are Khazad-dûm, taking down Dunland and going that way is often a far better idea than going for Misty, because obviously the fact that the computer Khazad-dûm is passive, as I've explained extensively in this video, if you then emulate that same passive nature in the Misty Mountain arena, then the Misty Mountains will carry on being a threat to the free peoples up there. Whereas you can take them out very, very easily, and for your troubles you only get about 4 settlements. Whereas if you take down Dunland and then move on Isengard and Enedwaith and Gondor if you wish to, or the Northern Dunedain, there's far more to do that way, and it's much more interesting. Sorry, I've been looming around, and when really we should just watch them fight now, because it's coming down to it. Everything that's happening, I believe, is happening here. Yep, the other side is now completely clear. Did the guards all get killed then? Oh yeah, look at that. Absolutely splendid. There's a little bit of a bugged out crossbowman down there. Let's go and chase them down. Oh, I'll tell you what, take the Angren Raiders with you. You guys don't run, you guys do run. Take the 47 of them as well. Back to the centre here. The pikemen are getting defeated. Slowly but surely. Oh no, I think they're closing in around the back of the enemy army. We're at 79% of them, 21% of us. "38 reclaimers remain. Our archers are now also all in the fighting." What's happening here? There's a bit of a cluster. There's the general. Which one's the general? Yeah. Oh, the general seems to be down by the bridge. Was it an actual person? I can't remember if it was a captain or not. No, it wasn't, was it? Look at this pikeman. Go on, you keep just nudging him away. That one was definitely to the throat. He would not get up from that. Although they are heavily armoured, I suppose. The shield on the arm's quite interesting. It's just strapped to his upper arm. Should really give them a shield value because of that. Because the shield value only really comes into play when fighting archers. And also if you're attacked from the front or the left-hand side, you have a higher defense, and if you're attacked from behind or the right-hand side, your shield doesn't come into it. But mostly the shield is just, it basically stops arrows. That's its main feature. Oh, that Reclaimer's doing very well. But I think this is their general. Somewhere in there. Certainly seems to be the star on the map. Oh, the Dwarven miners are routed. Are routing? Are running. Oh, and the crossbowmen came to attack them. Yes, good job, men.
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead.
Just as the enemy general dies. Right, now everybody go for it. Everybody go for it. Anyone that's not fighting now, start fighting. Now, we've pretty much won. I don't actually know what is still fighting. There's hardly anything left alive here. No, yeah, this is... oh, I'm in the wrong place. This is the only area left, really. So, if we can get some people to cross the bridge. Yep. Come at them from behind. They're running away. And it's all over. Yes! Heroic victory! We might actually beat Khazad-dûm.
Remember this day. Remember it as the day of our most glorious victory.
345 moot keepers. They're successful. Moot keepers. Moot keepers are, oh, I really should change their names. Because they don't, there's no way of knowing which one is which. I will change their names because I'm so fed up of having to guess. I think the wardens are the one with the axe and the keepers are the ones with the pikes. I could just call them moot pikes, but that's really boring, isn't it? And moot often means that a point is no longer valid, so it makes them sound like they're just a useless unit. Kill them all. Oh, only 2 more to go, Khazad-dûm. What are you going to do then?
We stand vigil as the enemy surrounds.
And I've got the fort as well. They literally have nowhere to run. Well, that's a lie. They're allied to the Vale of Anduin, so they could always retreat to their lands. But I will save that when this one finishes the end turn, because we're about 37-ish minutes, I believe, which makes the files quite large and very difficult to deal with. So let's double check we've not got to do anything. No, I'm not bothered about any of those. And nothing else going on there. So I do hope you have enjoyed this, whatever installment this is. Whatever number we're on. It's losing count, really. I do write them all down in the book still, though. I'm sure you are dying to know that. So, thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. I am Arakir Galadir, the head of Divide and Conquer. This is Divide and Conquer. And I shall just mention again that the schedule I'm trying to keep to is Anduin on a Monday, Enedwaith on a Wednesday, Umbar on a Thursday, and then Lore videos on a Saturday, and Soulstorm on a Sunday. Trying to keep it at those. Every now and then I probably would do 2 videos of one of the campaigns, and they would likely go up on the same day, so you still have the week between installments, but you might have a week with a couple of videos of Anduin or a couple of videos of Enedwaith. But there'll always be at least one of them all per week. But it won't increase much more than that. I don't want to overburden myself with it, because then it becomes a chore, not a fun hobby. But for now, that will end this one. So again, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. If you have any feedback you'd like to do, or indeed try and help me with the progress of the campaign in the future, please feel free to leave a comment and I'll have a read of it before I record the next one, and it may well feature in. So keep an eye out for that. Also, if you haven't seen it, I do believe Little Blue Ferret's video that features my face will now be on her channel when this one goes up. I will feature it on my channel anyway because it relates to both of us, so you'll see it there if needs be anyway. But this was recorded yesterday, and that was the same time that I also edited and merged all her videos together for her, so her video should have gone up by now because her internet uploads way faster than mine. So have a look out for that one if you want to learn about the last days of our travelling and to see what I look like. But for now, and until we speak again, dear friends, Nevar Naden Pedimad Melonin, and farewell.